In this example, we'll start to work with polynomials that have more than one variable in them. As a starting point, we'll begin with a review of some vocabulary and see how that vocabulary extends when we move into several variables. So the first question, why do we say that the polynomial 5x to the fourth minus 8x to the third plus 2/3 x minus 7 is a polynomial in one variable? The reason we say this is a polynomial in one variable is there's only one variable used throughout the entire polynomial. In this case, the only variable used was the variable x. In part B, the question is, what is a polynomial in several variables? Well, a polynomial in several variables would be one that uses more than one variable. In part C, we're going to use a specific example of a polynomial in several variables to review a couple of our vocabulary terms. So the polynomial we will use is 7x to the ninth minus 5x squared y to the third minus 4xy squared plus 2xy minus 7y squared plus 4. The first question is, what is the degree of the first term? So we want to make sure we're turning our attention to that first term. The first term is 7x to the ninth. The degree of that first term is 9. It is a ninth degree term. The reason this is a ninth degree term is that if we were to write out 7x to the ninth without an exponent, there would be 9 variable factors on that term. We want to remember that the degree is a reference to how many variable factors there are on any term. When we go to answer the second question, what is the degree of the second term, it might help to stop and write down the term negative 5x squared y to the third, but write it without exponents. Negative 5, there would be 2 x's and 3 y's. The degree, again, is a reference to how many variable factors there are. And back here, we can see that there are 5 variables, 2 x's and 3 y's. So this is a fifth degree term because there are 5 variable factors. The third question, what is the coefficient of the third term? You want to remember that the coefficient is the constant factor in the term. In this particular case, the coefficient is negative 4. And the final question, what is the degree of the polynomial and why? You want to remember that the degree of the polynomial is really the degree of the highest degree term in the polynomial. And so you want to look through the entire polynomial, first identify the degree of every term, and then pick the highest degree that you mentioned. We already know that the first term is a ninth degree term. We've already found that the second term is a fifth degree. If we look to the third term, there's an x and 2 y's. That would be a third degree. If we look to the fourth term, there's an x and a y. That would be a second degree. On the next term, there's a y squared, meaning 2 y's. That's also a second degree. And the 4 by itself is what we call a constant term because there are no variable factors. So the highest degree that we have listed anywhere is the ninth degree term, which was our first term. So this is a ninth degree polynomial because the highest degree term is a ninth degree term.